Hello everybody and a very good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to Crafters TV. My name's Ben Moseby. Thank you for joining us for a Sunday fun day. Yay! Just me. We have got a brilliant day lined up for you with a masterclass on the way a little bit later on, all about your construction, box making, and of course if you've missed anything throughout this week, and indeed all of the exciting launches over the past few weeks, Second Chance Sunday coming away a little bit later on. But we're hugely excited this morning for Colour Me Happy because not only do we love this show, but this morning we have got a brand new launch for you as well, which I know already a lot of you have been sneakily getting your hands on. It's been selling fast before the show. The brand new colouring pad card front collection, which I think you are going to absolutely love. We'll get into that in just a few moments' time, but not just little old me over the course of this show, indeed over the course of the day. I've got one crafty partner in crime who has the lovely job of joining me right throughout the day. It's the lovely Lily. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very excited to be here on this lovely sunny Sunday.
I know.
Especially
warm here as well today.
It's warm, would you believe?
Yeah.
And it's as if we're not brightening up your day enough with the weather. We've got an amazing new launch, so I'm super excited for this one today.
Yeah, and as I said, already lots of you have jumped in and grabbed it. Should we see some cards first up? But this is the ability for you to create some really beautiful projects, because we're giving you all of the kind of line art work, aren't we, with some fantastic designs in 4 different ranges. Let's have a look at what we've got.
Absolutely. Now, these are absolutely stunning collections, and you'll see that the samples that we've got made by the design team are completely exquisite. I've been looking through the box of all the samples, and honestly, it's been such a hard decision as to which ones to pick out to share with you first. But starting off with this one, you know I love my butterflies and florals, and I know you guys at home are exactly the same. Look at the stunning colouring we've got on here, even bringing in some of our clear sparkle pens just to accent that design even more. Yeah. If you're liking the look of these sentiments, don't worry, these are actually included in the pads as well. So it's not just about the stunning imagery that you've got within these card front colouring pads for you to be able to colour in with all your alcohol-based mediums, but we're also giving you this foiled sentiments as well, not just in gold but in silver and a bronzy tone as well, so perfect for all of your projects. But look how magical and mystical that looks, bringing in all of your different types of card shapes as well. It's not just about 6" by 4" cards that these are perhaps traditionally designed for, about all your fancy fold cards as well. How incredible is the colouring onto there, but all achievable with this amazing artwork. Perhaps you want to go a little bit more masculine. How show-stopping is that?
Wow.
That looks absolutely amazing. And literally all it is one of these toppers from the pads, one of your sentiments that are also in the pads, and you also a little bit of patterned or inked paper just onto a card base, and that's your card done. But how dramatic and show-stopping is that? But if you want to go for something a little bit more pretty, perhaps a little bit more feminine and dreamlike, you've got unicorns in these pads as well. So there's so many different types of artwork included in this collection. It doesn't matter whether you like your pretty florals, whether you like your more masculine, dramatic, fantasy sort of images. There's going to be absolutely something for you within this collection, and they are so much fun to colour with any of your alcohol-based mediums. So if you're a Spectrum Noir fan, then this is an absolute must-have. But if you're new to the world of colouring, then what a great place to start.
Absolutely right, and lots of excitement about these already as well. We'll go through the full collection for you. Lots of you already in. Bethan joins us from Cheshire. Sarah is in from Melbourne, Australia. Morning to Val is in from Southampton. Mary Ann says good morning, Ben and Lily from Georgia. And Mary Kane says good morning from the very windy Wisconsin. This is the deal for you this morning, and honestly, absolutely stunning. You're going to get the full collection, the colouring pad card front collection, 156 elements in total. Should be almost £40, just over $50. Everyone saves 20%. Look at your platinum price today, $25.56 or $33.24 in each of the collections. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you kind of the sort of finished samples here, which are coloured in, just to give you a bit of an idea as to the beautiful designs that you're going to get. But within each of the pads, this one here is your butterflies and botanics. You get 6 of each of these gorgeous images for you to get colouring with. And then as Lily was showing you, the back 3 pages of each pad, you get a selection of beautiful foiled sentiment toppers as well, in the gold, in the silver, and in like sort of like a beautiful bronzy colour as well. So you know what, if you're already into your colouring, if you love it already, this is a brilliant way for you to be able to get going, create some beautiful projects, some beautiful cards. You know, you've got 36 sheets in each of these pads, but I also see these as a brilliant way for you to get practicing if you're brand new to colouring, because you've got so many of each different design. This one here is the Enchanted Adventure. That it's almost like a great little sort of colouring class for you, really, that you can try out your different markers with, experiment with just a little bit, and you've almost, in my mind, you've got like a few practice ones before you then perhaps use your final work of art on a particular project. But I love the fact that we've included so much beautiful artwork there. You've got that more sort of mystical effect with the unicorns and the fairies and the toadstools. Absolutely stunning. Again, with that collection, you'll get your selection of toppers, beautifully foiled. Next in the set is this one here, which is called Spiritually Wild. I mean, come on. How much love is there going to be for that collection? Reminds me a lot of the collection that Sarah Kay brought us a while ago.
Yeah, like the illustrated animals?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Very, very similar to that. So if you love that collection, you're going to absolutely go wild. See what I did there? Go wild for this collection. Stunning. So much detail, so much that you can be doing with a collection like this. And then last but by no means least, you've got your beautiful Floral Flight. Again, a lovely collection of beautiful kind of exotic flowers and all of those different birds there, from your peacocks to your hummingbirds to the cockatoo. You've got the lovebirds there as well. Just an exquisite set for you to get colouring with. And if I just show you very, very quickly on each of them, you will get 3 pages of the sentiments as well. So those are toppers for you there, which you can simply pop out the cardstock, beautifully foiled, and you've got that in the gold, in the silver, and in that sort of bronze as well. They say things like "Thank you," with all my love. You've got "Bloom where you are planted," and wonderful in every way. And of course, those will change depending on the collection that you are getting. Get the full set today. There is an option for you if you want to go individually. You can do. If you want to go for 2, you can go 2 for £17 or 2 for $23. But the main value for money here surely is to go for the whole bundle, because you're going to love working with this. $25.56. $33.24 if you're platinum, and already lots and lots of you jumping in and grabbing them. Just to say again, with it being Colour Me Happy, great show for you to jump in, a little bit more laid back this one. So if you've got any questions you want to ask specific to the products, or indeed anything to do with colouring at all, do get them in, because I am very sure that Lily will be able to help you in any of those departments. So any questions that you've got, putting you under pressure now, any questions that you've got, do ask those and we'll get them answered over the course of the show, because that is what we are here for. Hi to Tim, hi to Stephen, who says that wolf stamp and zebra stamp would look amazing using the glitter markers.
Oh yes.
Already the idea's coming. And lots of you just saying already you're getting these into your baskets. But let's get cracking. Let's get having a look. I mean, where on earth are you going to start with a collection like this? Because there's so much choice.
Honestly, I have to say, when I got mine home, I just flicked through the pads. I got them all out and I just had a little look through at all the designs. And you're getting so many different designs, and they're all so varied as well. So it doesn't matter what your style of colouring, what you love colouring the most, there's going to be something for you in there, and it's absolutely fabulous. But when you get them home, just have a little look through and then try and choose your favourite to colour in first. I have to say, it was really, really hard for me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for the Floral Flight, which is quite hard to say, but it's a stunning pad. So I've chosen this design, and all I've done is I've just taken it out of the pad. Now, we definitely recommend, if you are colouring these still in the pad, then make sure you pop a piece of paper in between the pages. But I just personally find it easier just to take them out of the pad as I come to colouring them, because you don't want to get any of the pen from this design transferred to the design underneath in the pad. So that's just a little top tip. Now these have been specifically designed for use with alcohol pens. So any of your Spectrum Noir alcohol pens, we've got lots in the range, and we've got basically a little bit of everything from every single range of the Spectrum Noir alcohol pens on today's show. And I'm going to be taking you through every single different type of pen that we've got and showing how beautifully they'll work on this. Now it's been printed specifically on our alcohol pen paper. It's 240 GSM, so it's a really nice weight. It'd be great for your card toppers. It's not too thin, but it's not too thick either. It's just right, and it's been specifically tested and designed for use with your alcohol pens. But let's get colouring. So I'm going to start off with my Tri-Blend brush pens. Now I absolutely love these, and Tri-Blends are a brilliant place to start if you are new to the world of colouring and you're not quite sure about your 3-pen blends of what's going to work with what shades to use together to get your light and your shade. This is going to take all of the thinking out of that sort of process. So you can see it's quite a long pen. It's perhaps slightly larger than pens you are used to, because it's almost like 3 pens in one. So this is the Coral blend. So it's telling me on the pen I've got CR1, CR6 and CR11. So I've got my light, my mid and my dark all in one pen. And if we actually open up, take off the lid, we can see we've got our light at one end, and then in the middle we've got our medium tone, and then at the other side we've got our dark tone. So we've got a whole blend of this coral tone all within the one pen. So I'm not having to worry about using 3 different pens, finding 3 different tones that are all going to work and blend together seamlessly. It's all within this one pen, and that's the thinking behind our Tri-Blends, whether it be the brush nib like these ones or whether they be the traditional bullet nib that we've also got on today's show. The brush nib are perfect for all your sort of flicking techniques, hair and fur. They're going to give you that lovely soft finish.
Yeah.
And I'm starting off with a light, so I tend to work from light to dark, and I'm just choosing one of the petals. And it's always nice to focus on one small area at a time when you're colouring in. Just makes it a little bit more manageable. You're not having to focus on a large area of the design. Just focusing on one little piece, and it means as well then you'll be blending the colours when the alcohol ink is still wet, which is a lot easier to do than sort of trying to blend on dry cardstock, which is a little bit more tricky. So I'm filling in this whole area using small circular motions with that beautiful fine quality brush nib on the end. And then I'm going to go to my CR6, which is my mid-tone. I'm going to add shade towards the centre, and as we come out to the edge of the petals, it's going to be slightly lighter. So we're going to have some shadow in that centre. So I'm taking this mid-tone, I'm adding some colour into the centre, and then using that beautiful brush nib, I'm just going to flick out like so. And then I'm going to go back to my slightly lighter, light tone within the pen, and then I'm just going to flick over the top where that join is, just to blend those 2 tones together a little bit better. Just like so, really easily, just blending, just flicking, using that gorgeous brush nib, and it's so soft, it's not scratchy at all, it's not frayed or particularly fibrous, it's just a lovely soft quality brush nib. And I'm going back to my mid-tone, and I'm just going to add a little bit more of the mid-tone onto there. Once again, just flicking, really, really simple and quick to do. And you'll probably find a way that's easiest to you of flicking. I find it quite difficult to flick downwards. I'll tend to flick upwards like so, but just find whatever's most comfortable when you're colouring. And then we're going to go to the darkest colour within this pen. So we're still just using the one pen, with it being Tri-Blends. I'm not having to use 3 different pens, but I am getting 3 different tones and flicking out. So I'm just adding this to the very centre of the flower and flicking out to give that shade. And that's one petal done really, really easily.
Amazing.
It's so quick, isn't it, to come together?
Yeah. But
But it makes it really easy with the Tri-Blends, because we've got the 3 tones already in that pen. I'm not having to choose which colours are going to work together. It's all within that one pen, so it makes it really easy, particularly if you're a beginner.
Are the brush pens easy, do you think, for a beginner as opposed to the normal Tri-Blend?
I think it depends what sort of colouring you want to
Okay.
do. If you do a lot of lot of hair, a lot of fur, then definitely go for your brush nib. If you're worried more about getting into fine detail, then perhaps go for your traditional Tri-Blends, as you've got a slightly firmer nib with it being a bullet nib. So if you're not used to using perhaps brushes or your aqua pens, then maybe go for your traditional. But it's one of those, once you've tried one, you're going to have both. You're going to be wanting to collect them all.
Yeah.
But I think just thinking about the sort of colouring that you are going to be doing, if you do a lot of hair and fur, then the brush nib is a great place to start.
And you've covered off that these, obviously, the card is for your alcohol markers, because Debbie was asking whether these for use with your alcohol pens or your aquas, so we've touched on that.
Yeah, definitely for your alcohol pens.
Anne Lee wants to know, could you use your pencils with this cardstock?
Yep, no reason why not at all. It's just you don't want to be adding a lot of liquid, a lot of water to them, because it's not being designed for your water-based mediums. But coloured pencils would be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And that would look beautiful as well, for sure.
Good questions. Keep them all coming in. It's nice to have these. As I say, that is what we're here for. Bethan Thomason just saying these images are so beautiful. And our Rachel just saying, I got to colour some of these. They're so fun and it's so mindful to get lost in the colouring. This is the show I feel like I have to concentrate on a lot more because I can just end up just almost getting like hypnotised by the colouring which is going on. So that's what happens, isn't it? People talk about falling into a bit of a colouring coma because it's such a relaxing thing to do. And the amount of people that you hear from who said that they took up colouring because of, they wanted to be able to be a bit more mindful, be able to relax a little bit more. And a lot of people who took up colouring during the pandemic. It's amazing the amount of people who say that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love colouring. I could sit down and colour all day long. It's amazing how quickly the hours go. And I have to say, for me, with Colour Me Happy shows, the key thing is remember to talk and remember to breathe, because you can get totally lost in the colouring. But that's absolutely what it's all about.
Yeah.
Just enjoying the colouring, building up that image, starting from not quite a blank page, because obviously you've got the line work there already, but starting from a black and white image and taking it all the way up to a fully coloured image is just so satisfying as you see that artwork really come to life. It's absolutely wonderful. But the brilliant thing as well is you can choose all your own colours. So it's completely personalised.
Yeah, and as I said, the fact that you get so many of each image within the pad, it is a great I mean, this is going to be great if you're already into your colouring because you've got lots of images to work with, but if you are new to it, it's a great way to be able to practice as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. So you're not needing to get any stamps if you've not already got them. You don't need your stamping blocks or your inks or anything like that at all. You literally just need your pad to get started. So if you're new, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. But if you are an experienced crafter, perhaps you do have a big crafty stash. You've got all the stamps, you've got all the inks, all the pens. But if you just want something to sit down in front of the telly on an evening, or perhaps bring with you if you're going away to the caravan or going around to a friend's house for a few hours, this is going to be absolutely perfect because you don't need a lot of other things to get crafting. You could be colouring these up on an evening, getting a nice pile of beautifully coloured images together ready, and then perhaps the next morning you're going to go into your craft room and you're going to make them all up into stunning cards. It's going to be absolutely brilliant.
Tim on YouTube says, I've got the classiques and I was wondering the best way of applying the colour blend colours. Do I wait for the alcohol to dry first?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can use your colour blend pencils over the top of your classiques, and that works really well to add even more depth and dimension. So colour with your classiques as you would normally, then just leave them to dry. It won't take very long, as alcohol pens don't take particularly long to dry. Just leave it, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and then go over the top with your colour blend pencils, and that will give you even more depth and definition to your alcohol pen colouring, and that would look absolutely fabulous with these particular pads for sure. So that's just another option. Yeah, get all your questions in. We're having some fabulous questions today. Yeah, for sure.
That is what we are here for.
Absolutely.
And make sure you grab the deals as well. I know this collection, brand new, has been very popular already. I see this as quite a nice craft to sort of to share as well. The fact that you've got so much, you know, maybe you're in a club, for example, and like I always think about, my wife used to be in our local village Women's Institute, and you know, every now and again it would be up to the certain members to come up with a particular night for everyone else to do. And I always think like a craft or something like this would be absolutely perfect for that, the fact that you get so much. But also, if you've got children or grandchildren, you know, how lovely is it to be able to sit with, you know, the younger ones and share your love of colouring with them, because we know how much kids love colouring anyway. It's a great craft to kind of share, isn't it?
Absolutely, they're perfect to be doing with all your children as well, and with them being designed specifically for your 6-inch by 4-inch cards, it makes it really easy as well for kids if they are wanting to just colour in their image and then pop a sentiment on it, mount it onto a card base, and that's going to be a card done. So not only are they doing the colouring, but they can make cards for all their friends, perhaps for their teachers as well, really, really easily. So you can see how easily that flower came together just using our one tri-blend brush pen, but it comes to life really, really quickly. And I do exactly the same on the other 2 flowers, but we're just going to move on to one of the birds now. So we're going to do a little bit of a different technique. So I'm going to go for my hydrangea blend, and then I'm also going to go for my jade green blend. So these are again both a couple of our tri-blend brush pens, and I'm going to start off with my hydrangea blend. I'm just going to use the light nib, if you like, with this particular one. I'm going to focus on this one wing of our beautiful birds. Now, with these being sort of like tropical birds, you could do these in lots and lots of different fantasy, perhaps slightly unrealistic, but really, really fun colours. What about doing them in rainbow colours? That would look absolutely fantastic. There's so many different options. Like I say, when you are colouring your own images, you can colour things in whatever colour tone you like at all. It doesn't have to be true to life. It doesn't have to be photorealistic or anything like that. You can really, really go to town and have a lot of fun with these.
Are they hummingbirds?
I want to say hummingbirds,
They can fly backwards, can't they?
They certainly can, yeah. I think they're the only bird that can fly backwards, if I...
Do you know why hummingbirds hum?
No?
They don't know the words.
Oh.
Because they don't know the words. That's a good one for a Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, a very good one.
Thank you.
So now I'm going in with my jade green blend, and I'm going in with the light. So I'm actually blending a purple and a sort of greeny blue tone, which is absolutely something you can do with your alcohol pens. So don't just think about using your tri-blend sort of as they are, with one pen being your full blend for that image. Think about bringing in different colour tones and mixing and matching your colours together for really interesting ombre effects. So now I'm going in with my mid-tone from the jade green blend. And I'm just going to add a little bit at the sort of centre of the wing to add a little bit of more depth and dimension onto that. And I'm just following the lines that this artwork has already given me. So I'm adding a little bit more shade underneath the lines, and then at the bottom I'm leaving it slightly lighter. And then we're going to go in with the darkest tone from this particular pen, and we're going to add the very, very darkest just to the centre where the shadow would be, just like so. So very easily we've built up this wing using 2 different colour families, using 2 completely different pens, but it gives us a really, really interesting effect. So if I go back to my hydrangea blend and do exactly the same on the opposite wing, so I tend to work in circular motions to lay down my colour for my sort of base layer, the lightest colour. That's just going to give you the most even and smooth coverage of colour onto that. It's going to give us a really seamless lay down of colour. So then I'm going to go back to my jade green blend with my light tone, and I'm always turning my artwork just to make things easier. We do have the rotating design board on today's show, which is absolutely fabulous to be working with. It just makes your life so much easier when you are colouring.
And I know people won't, perhaps new colourists won't believe this, but what you are doing is amazing, but it's not something that is unachievable. Do you know what I mean?
No.
A lot of people, I'm waiting for the comment of someone saying, oh, this is amazing, I could never do that. When you've got the tri-blend brush pens, even the tri-blends, it makes this very, very achievable. I think once you've got these in your hand and you start working with these, very quickly you'll see for yourself how easy it is to achieve the blend, because it is, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because one of the things that people struggle with most about colouring is choosing the colours to work with, and choosing what's going to blend together, what's not going to work, what is going to work. And the thing with tri-blends is we've chosen those colours. All of the hard work has been taken out. The experts have really cleverly put these pens together, so you don't have to do the difficult thing of actually choosing the colours. You just get to do the fun thing of actually colouring in. So we've taken out what I think is probably the hardest thing about colouring, choosing those tones, and we've got them all in one pen. And as well, it saves on storage, which is brilliant, because effectively I've got 3 pens here, but I'm only having to store 1. which is brilliant if you are running out of storage space quite quickly, like I may very well be. But yeah, they are absolutely fabulous, the tri-blends.
You've got a craft room and a storage room, haven't you?
Well, yeah, kind of two craft rooms, I suppose. But at the moment, it's an absolute tip, I have to say. There's boxes all over the floor. There's stuff all over the floor. There's dies left, right and centre. There's pens everywhere. I do love my pens, you know. You've got to have them all.
Who else's craft room is a real tip?
Probably everyone else's. I'm hoping, just to make me feel a little bit better. But
An organised mess, I think we call it, don't we?
I'm not sure it's organised at the moment. The thing is,
just a mess.
Yeah, I'd rather be crafting, that's the thing, than tidying. So then it gets itself in a bit of a state. Too busy colouring this past week, I have to say. It was one of these I started colouring and I could not stop. Thought, no, you're going to have to stop me. You go, I'll just colour one more image. And then you go and have another look through your pad and you see another image. You think, oh, I'm not sure I've seen that before, because you get so much in the pads.
Yeah.
You think, oh, I've got to sit down and colour that one in. Well, yeah, they're just so much fun to sit and colour with. But look how easily that started to come together, just using our two different pens onto there. And I'd carry on doing exactly the same, and we'd end up with something like this. So all we've done, but so easy to come together. So I've done exactly the same with the 3 flowers, and then I've done that same technique with the 2 hummingbirds. I've used for the stems, I've used my light green blend. So just using the light, medium and dark technology that we've got in our tri-blend brush pens, really, really easy to bring that together. And then all I've done to finish it off is I've taken my ice grey blend and I've just outlined this image to really, really bring it to life. And it gives it that shadow. All you do is just one line of colour all around the edge, using the lightest in your ice grey, and it really does make it pop. But let's bring this together. Let's start popping a card together. So I've got a few mats and layers. So I've gone for this lovely, it's like a rose goldy sort of tone, just to bring out the foiling that I'm going to add in from the sentiment, because you are, of course, getting those fabulous foiled sentiments within this collection. Honestly, I couldn't actually believe it. When I opened my pads, I was flicking through, I was looking at all the stunning artwork, and I came towards the end and I saw all these sentiments. I thought, wow, I can't believe not only have we got all this gorgeous imagery, but we've also got all the sentiments as well, which is just amazing. Because if you are a beginner, perhaps you don't have sentiment stamps, you don't have sentiment dies, you've not really got a lot to be getting crafting with, you've just got the real basic supplies, then you don't need to worry because the sentiments are already taken care of. And the thing I love as well is the fact that they're not sort of generic sentiments, they are relevant to the particular artwork.
Well, for this one, so you've got 18 in total, 6 of each of the colours. So you've got them foiled in the gold, silver and that bronze. You've got Let Your Dreams Be Your Wings. You've got Sending My Love to You, Just for You, Spread Your Wings, Have a Beautiful Day and Miss You. So you've got, a nice kind of mixture of sort of generic ones, but then also the ones specific to the fact that this one here is the beautiful birds and the flowers. So nice that you get those specific sentiments, and that's the case with all of the collections actually, that you get sentiments specific to the actual artwork that you're going to get, and we'll look at more of those in just a few moments time. Lots of love for this show already, by the way. Brenda just saying, wow, what a beautiful flower. Shirley on YouTube saying, I'm loving your colouring, Lily.
Oh, thank you very much.
Gemma Wilson, hello Gemma, says, I bought 3 of the Spectrum Noir calendars to practice colouring, so I'm really excited for these. Yeah, honestly, that's how I see these as. Great as a practice, because the fact that you get so many of each of the designs, it is a great way to kind of get practicing all of your techniques. And as far as craft rooms are concerned, Kathy Benoit says, I do have a path through my room. Yeah. So, good. My front room and dining room is a tip full of crafting stuff, says Stephen. Terry says, my craft room is half a mess and half organised. The dog Bailey is very happy I moved to the basement. She now has her own bedroom.
Oh, wow.
The dog? What?
You got to treat these pets right.
Got her own bedroom? Wow. That is a pampered pooch. Love that. And Gemma says, I find when my craft supplies are tidy, I can't find anything.
It's so true. Honestly, it's so true. If they're all over the floor, I know where they are, so I can see them.
You trip over them.
Well, yeah, there is that. Oh Oh dear. So all I'm doing is I'm doing a little bit of matting and layering. So I've taken a pretty pattern paper, and I believe this is from one of the subs boxes. I want to say 44. And talking of subs boxes, make sure you join Sarah on Tuesday for launch party.
Yeah, Sarah's back. She's
It's
back
all I'm going to say. She's back tomorrow
as
for
well.
an amazing new launch.
Yeah.
But if you do like your subs boxes, make sure you join her on Tuesday.
And also, if you do like your subs boxes, make sure you head to the website, because we've got deals on for National Craft Month.
Of course. 40% off.
Yeah, on selected boxes. I think it's 37 to
37 to 45? 44?
Mm.
So this one will be included.
Yeah.
Lovely top tip. I love my subs boxes, I have to say.
How do you remember that paper is from 44?
I remember funny things like that.
Do you?
Yeah, I just have a bit of a funny memory for remembering specific things. Yeah.
Wow.
Especially when it comes to craft, I just remember.
Mm.
Anyway, back to the crafting. So I've taken a 7x7 inch card blank, and all I've done is I've cut away a section. So this top section is not 7 inches anymore, it's actually 2 inches. And then I've saved the bit at the bottom, which is another 2 inches by 7 inches. I'm going to create a sort of like bridge card. So I'm going to add a little bit of acetate just to the centre to bridge the gap between these two pieces. So it's basically, it's like a 7x7 inch card with a little bit cut out of the centre. And then the top and bottom panels are 2 inches. So adding my acetate into the middle, I clamp that down with one hand and then just close that top flap to stick that. And then I go in and stick my lower panel just to the bottom. I find it easier to do one panel at a time, especially when you're working with the red liner tape, as it is so super sticky. And that gives us the basis of our card. Then we're going to bring back our lovely coloured image that we coloured in using our tri-blend brush pens. So we saw how easy that was to come together. But just take your time with your colouring, just enjoy that process of seeing that beautiful artwork come to life. I mean, it looks amazing as it is, even just in the black and white artwork, but when you start to add your colours, how absolutely fabulous does it look. Now,
And it may well be as well, right? Potentially, if you want to, you could cut into these as well, couldn't you? Create like
absolutely
depth and dimension and 3D your card.
Yeah, because you get so many of each design. Is it 6 of each design?
6 of each design, yeah.
So I was thinking, what about snipping into it, decoupaging it up? Or you could snip into it and use sections separately, especially the butterflies. That would be fabulous as embellishments. Or how about even colouring up several of each design and doing your sort of invertage and pyramage sort of effects?
Love that idea.
That would look amazing. But because you get so many of each design, so easy to do, and you're not having to worry that you've only got a couple of each design. When you've got 6, you've got plenty to get playing with.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. So finishing touches, of course, one of these sentiments, and I've chosen the sort of, I want to say coppery bronze. You could get away with calling it rose gold if you like, foiling on this one. And again, it matches the artwork so beautifully. Let your dreams be your wings. So something a little bit different, something really uplifting. Perhaps somebody's going through a little bit of a difficult time. Be perfect to send a card like this with the bright, fresh colours. Just something a little bit uplifting. And a final finishing touch, I've just added a little bow onto that, and I'm afraid I can't remember where that ribbon's from. That would be a bridge too far. Given it's quite a thin little ribbon, it could be from like the inside of a top or something like that. You know, when you cut it off and save it.
The inside of a top? Oh,
yeah,
you
know when you get the little loops that you're supposed to pop on your hangers.
Oh yeah.
Little bits of ribbon. I would just snip them off and use them in my crafting.
Crafty?
Oh yeah, because it's a lovely thin little ribbon. Little top tip for you there. But how easy was it to create? Oh yeah, everything gets used in the crafting. So easy to create a card like that using one of our card front colouring pads, but you can be doing all your different concept cards. It's not just about standard fold cards, but you're doing your floating cards and all sorts with these amazing colouring pads.
Man, that is absolutely amazing. Really getting busy for this collection now. A lot of people going for the multi-buy, 2 for 17 or 2 for 23. Lots of you going for individuals as well. I know the butterfly collection is proving really popular. So beautiful, says Marina. I love these colours together. Mary Beth Doyle says, good morning from Minnesota. I've been watching Lily colour. It puts me in a colouring coma just watching it. It's a nice way to start a Sunday, isn't it? Sort of ease into your Sunday. Love this collection question, says Tim on YouTube. You, Lily, are a colouring superstar.
Oh, thank you ever so much.
Brenda's saying, stupendous card, rich colours. And well done to Terry Anderson, who spotted the particular adhesive that you were using to pop that card together and was singing that particular song. Didn't do it. I didn't do it. It's fine. But well done for singing that, Terry. There's a few questions coming in, which we'll deal with in just a second. But I just wanted to show you, again, the designs that you're going to get in this collection. Remember, it's 4 different pads, 6 designs, 6 of each in each collection, and you're also going to get the relevant toppers to go with them as well. They are absolutely beautiful. This one here is your Enchanted Adventure. Just to tell you the sentiments that you get: imagination will get you anywhere, dream big, birthday wishes, have an enchanting birthday, we are what we believe we are, and also a sprinkling of fairy dust on your day. So those are all the sentiments. You get those as little toppers that you can pop out in the rose gold, also in the silver and in the gold as well. Next up, I think this one might be my favourite collection, which is the Spiritually Wild. I mean, the artwork is just amazing. You've got that gorgeous lion, the zebra, the wolf on there, the elephant, the peacock. Your sentiments here are shine bright, stay strong, you're awesome, happiest of birthdays, be you, I like that, be you, the world will adjust.
I love that. I think that's just absolutely
great,
lovely, yeah. I think the sentiments in this collection are absolutely spot on.
They're very life-affirming, aren't they?
Definitely.
Live more, worry less is another good one as well.
Yeah,
and again, you
sure.
get those 6 times over in the different foiled colours that you're seeing there in the gold and in the silver, and also in that sort of bronzy rose gold effect. So that's the second collection. As I say, all of these individually, should you wish, but you've got to go for the full collection, surely. You can't leave any of these behind. This one here, again, absolutely beautiful. So this is the one that Lily was using just a few moments ago. This one here was the one she was colouring. So that's the Floral Flight. 6 designs again, 6 of each. And you've got spread your wings, let your dreams be your wings, miss you, just for you, have a beautiful day, and sending my love to you. So you get those 3 times over each in the gold, in the silver, and in the rose gold. Producer Johnny just saying, you know, that's a good point actually. He just said, I've never seen a peacock in a tree. Yeah. Well, they must go in trees, because there's one there, isn't there? I've seen them. Well, the only place I ever used to really see peacocks was when we used to go to Paignton Zoo when I was little, and they'd always be around like the picnic area, and they'd be up on the tables and stuff. But yeah, I take your point there, Johnny. I've never seen a peacock in a tree either. Yeah.
That's a fabulous thing about drawing your own images, though. Nothing has to be realistic.
Nothing has to be.
There we go.
Realistic.
Seamless.
You wait though. Now we'll get people going, oh, I've got peacocks and they're always up trees. You wait. Someone will tell us. If you've got any pictures of peacocks up a tree, please send those in to studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, because Johnny wants to see a peacock up a tree.
Peacock up a tree.
When I came into the show today, I did not expect that I would be asking you to send in pictures of peacocks up a tree, but that's where this show takes us. Butterflies and Botanics is the 4th and final collection, and this is the most popular one on its own actually. You can see why. You guys love your florals. We all love our butterflies in craft as well, and there's some really beautiful images to be colouring. Again, your sentiments here, you've got thank you, with all my love, bloom where you are planted, be you, do you, for you. You've also got wonderful in every way, and collect beautiful moments. We've also got the beautiful foiling on all of those as well, in the gold, in the silver and in the bronze, and that makes up your collection. Again, what a brilliant way to enjoy your colouring, to practice your colouring, to share your colouring with somebody as well. I would go for the full collection if I were you, but you can go individually. Full collection, you get a 20% saving off the price, so it should be £40, $51, £25 today, £25.56 platinum, or $33.24 if you're shopping with us in the US and you're a platinum member. If you're brand new to us today, by the way, do make sure you join up in the club and get those discounts. Also worth bearing in mind the tri-blend brushes we've got on the show. So we've got two collections here. We've got the complete collection, and we've also got an expansion collection, or the extended collection. So let me show you the complete collection first of all. So as Lily was explaining to you just a few moments ago, you've got that beautiful brush nib on these. So these are perfect partners to go with this collection. Great for doing things like that flicking technique. Great for applying to fur, really adding that level of depth and dimension to all of your projects. So if you are going for these today and you're looking for a perfect partner, go for these, the tri-blend brush markers. You get 24 of them, as we've mentioned. However, as Lily again has already explained, within each of the colours that you're going to receive within this set, you get three kind of hues. So you've got the light, the medium, and the dark of each of those colours, as you're seeing on the boards here. So all of these different colours. So it's like really that you're getting actually 72 different colours within the collection, from your sort of purples through your pinks and your golds and your browns and greys, and then you're also going to get all of your reds and oranges and greens and blues within those as well. But if you look at things like your dark red blend, for example, you can see here you've got the light, the medium and the dark, your DR1, DR4 and DR7, and that shows you how these blend beautifully together as well. It's a great system to make you a brilliant colourist in next to no time. You're going to save 10% if you jump in and grab this collection today. Platinum members get another 20% off, so that's $57.59 or $86.36. We've also then got the extended collection. Now, this is a collection that you can buy on its own to work independently of the complete collection. However, these two do work brilliantly together as well. The way I kind of compute this in my brain is that you've got the three different hues in your complete collection, and then when you've got the extended collection, if I go back to the dark reds, for example, if I can find, where's my dark red? Hold the line, please, caller. Oh, I can't see it for looking now. Oh, I can't see it. Where is it? I've got the right boards there. Anyway, basically what you get the three blends within the complete collection, right? And then the extended collection gives you the blends within those colours, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. That's the way to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you might have like a coral shades in one and then a coral blend in the other. So they work brilliantly together. So if you've got all of them, you've just got even more options, even more colouring capabilities. But of course, they do work standalone. I know I started off with one set and then obviously I collected the other one afterwards. But if you can only stretch to one today, then both of them work standalone. And something else to note that I've not mentioned just yet, talking of your brush nibs and your bullet nibs, you can intermix them. So if you've got some of the tri-blend brush nibs and you've got some of the traditional tri-blends, you can be mixing and matching those as well for even more options, which is fabulous.
I can example you on the coral here. So the coral in the complete tri-blend, you've got the CR1, CR6 and CR11, and the extender, you've got the CR4, CR3, CR10. So again, it just extends the kind of hues of the colours that you've got within each of those collections. So $57.59 for the extended collection, or $86.36, and again, that 24-piece extended collection is almost like that you're going to get 72 different colours. Now, we've also got carry cases for you as well. So we've got the 72 marker storage collection, which is for the smaller pens. But if you do want the collection for the tri-blends, we've also got that available for you as well. But these are going to hold things like your classics, things like your illustrators as well. 72 pens you'll be able to hold in here. A great way for you to be able to kind of transport all your goodies. Also, a great way for you to be able to kind of store things as well, because if your craft room is like Lily's, for example, all over the place, and you've got pens flying everywhere, then this is a great way to keep everything nice and safe. As you can see, you've got that hook and mesh system here, so if you want to pull out pens just to simply pop on your craft top, you've got the ability to do that. And you can hold, as we said, up to 72 pens in here. You've got that elastication where you can pop those pens in, keep them nice and safe. And it's also, actually, like Lily was saying, a lovely way to be able to take some of your pens with you. Maybe if you're going on holiday, maybe if you are, taking some pens to the caravan, for example. This is a great way to be able to do that. And as I say, if you haven't got a lot of storage, a nice storage solution as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I have to admit, I have actually ordered a few of these last week myself, a few of them.
Oh.
So I've got a few for my tri-blends, and I've got a few for of the 72 marker cases to sort out all my classics and illustrators, because I just thought I need to get it sorted, because I know when I've got all my pens laid out in colour order, it's a lot more inspiring, it's a lot easier to work with when you can see them all laid out, rather than being in random boxes here, there and everywhere. I've not sorted mine out. I will. As soon as I sort all my pens out, I will pop photos on my social. But get them organised, you'll know where everything is. It'll be a lot more inspiring, it'll be a lot tidier. It's just nice to have all your pens organised, so pick up your storage today. We've got it on special price, it's definitely the time to get your pens sorted.
£21.59, £28.76. You even get a little pocket at the back there where potentially, you know, if you're getting this collection here, you could pop in some of those cards to actually do some colouring with. Nice steady handle, and you've got your little strap there as well if you want to pop it over your shoulder. £21.59 or £28.76 is the deal on that one. But let's go back to our brand new goodies. This collection, which is flying, the colouring pad collection, is $25.56 if you're platinum, $33.24 if you're shopping with us in the US. Just before we go back, Sue says, I'm liking Lily's calming voice.
Oh, thank you very much.
Sunday. And Ree Peacocks. A peacock was chasing... what? Adriana says, a peacock was chasing me when I was on vacation in Mexico.
Wow.
I didn't see them in the trees, just monkeys.
Oh, wow.
But Tim says, yes, peacocks do roost in trees on the lower branches. Michelle McCarthy...
hello, Michelle.
Michelle says, I don't know about peacocks, but you should see all the chickens that sit in trees where I live.
Blimey.
It's a little bit Alfred Hitchcock when you walk by them.
Ooh.
Chickens in trees?
I've never seen that before.
Where have you been walking, Michelle? That's what we want to know. Oh, wow, okay, that is a little bit disturbing, isn't it? Chickens in trees.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we try and erase that thought from our minds, let's go back over to lovely Lily and do some more colouring.
Let's think about nice, pretty things. Let's think about gorgeous fairies instead. They could be
Yes.
in trees, but
Not
it won't be
chickens
alarming.
in trees.
Like chickens. I've never seen that before. But I'm going to try and get that image out of my mind, and I'm going to think about colouring. So I've gone for one of these gorgeous images, and I've just, like I did with the other one, I've just ripped it out of the pad, and this is from the Enchanted Adventure. And I'm working onto a piece of just Nina card underneath the design I'm actually colouring, just because it gives something for the alcohol ink to bleed down into. Rather than working on something like your glass mat, it's always good to have a piece of cardstock underneath what you're colouring in. Now we're going to go for our classics this time. Now I have to say, this is where I started my Spectrum Noir journey. I got all the classic pens, and that was it. I was hooked with Spectrum Noir. I had to have every type of pen going, but they are a great place to start if you are new as well. So these are dual-ended pens, and they've got a really nice hexagonal barrel, so basically they don't roll off your table, which might sound a bit daft, but when you come to colour like I am here, and you've got dozens of pens out on your workspace, the fact that they don't roll off the table is actually an absolute godsend,
Yes.
I have to say. So I'm going to start with some of these lovely fern designs, and I'm going in with khaki, which is YG1, which is going to be my palest, well, my palest bar one, but we're going to do something a little bit different at the end. But I'm going with my YG1, and I'm going to fill out just a portion of this design. So you can see that we've got a lot of really, really intricate detail. I keep wanting to say on this stamp, it's not a stamp, we've not even had to stamp this. It's already printed for us, which is fabulous because it saves us a little bit of time. You know I love my stamping, but using these colouring pads is just really, really convenient. So we've got a lot of fine detail, and I am calling them ferns. It might not be ferns. Answers on a postcard, please.
Ferns
if there's,
is good.
Yeah, should we go with ferns? If anybody at home wants to contradict me, I'm more than happy to change what I'm calling them. But yeah, we'll go with ferns for now. But they are really, really delicate, and they just frame this image absolutely beautifully. But to be able to colour in something that's got so much fine detail in there, we do need a pen with a really, really fine nib, and we've absolutely got that with our classics. So if you are worried about getting into fine detail, perhaps you've got stamps at home that are really, really intricate, then these classics are going to cover you really easily because we've got such a fine, firm bullet nib on the end. And of course, on the other end, we do have our chisel as well. So it's fabulous. We get the best of both worlds. If you need to lay down a lot of colour really quickly, your chisel nib is absolutely brilliant for that.
A few questions coming through, which we'll ask after we watch you colour. Tim wants to know, on this collection, is there any restrictions on using the cards for selling?
With it being a Crafter's Companion artwork, as long as it's a fully coloured in image created into a project, so not just the coloured images themselves, into a proper card or box or whatever it may be, then you're free to do that.
Okay. And also from Tim, actually, just asking about adhesives. Red line tape, is that stronger than the tape pens? Tim wants to know.
Tape pens are really, really strong. Now, traditionally, tape pens are not particularly strong, but our Crafter's Companion tape pens are really, really strong. So I could use them on acetate. I can use them on my boxes as well. But yeah, they're probably on a par with your red liner tape. But red liner tape is ideal for acetate for sure.
Good questions. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
We'd love to answer your questions. Deborah on Facebook just says, I loved your last card, Lily.
Oh, thank you.
Watching Lily made me forget to say hello to everyone. Oh, and by the way, I also cut the ribbons out of my tops.
Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that. I have to say I was really lucky at Christmas to get an absolutely gorgeous big box of chocolates. And the chocolates were great, but the first thing I noticed when I was given this gift was this gorgeous big white ribbon on it. I thought, yep, I'm having that, thank you.
But they don't have them in blokes' tops, do they? No.
No, I don't think so.
Ribbons.
I think they're for hanging them on your hangers, but I've never ever used them apart from for crafting. So.
I love that. So funny. Our Rachel says, my mum had peacocks. They used to roost on the car roof. And Sean Peacock on YouTube says,
hello, Sean.
You won't find me hanging out in a tree.
Oh.
So there you go. You see, so we've just proved that peacocks, especially Sean peacocks, don't hang out in trees. Lauren Miller just saying, good morning, Ben and Lily. Good morning, Lauren.
Morning.
Thank you for sharing all your great tips and card ideas, Lily. I hope you'll be on the schedule more often. Well, here's the great news. Lily's here with us for Masterclass this afternoon. And then, I believe, are you coming back for a bit of Second Chance Sunday?
If they'll let me in, I will do. I'd like to, but, you know, we'll have to see how we go. Yeah. They might have kicked me out by then.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, I might have to be back home colouring. No, I'm here all day, which I'm super, super excited about. Got some fab stuff coming up today. But back to the colouring.
Yes.
So we've gone all over our fern with khaki, which is YG1. That's my lightest colour. Then we went in with YG2. So really, really self-explanatory, this naming system of the pens. So the lower the number, the lighter it is, and then the higher the number, the darker it is. So we went in with YG1, YG2, then we threw a little bit of a curveball in the ring, and we went to a CG4. And that's just my darkest tone in the middle. And it's really a really good idea to actually fill out your colour charts, which you can just download off of the Spectrum Noir website. And although this is not in the same colour family, by seeing all the colours laid out on my colour chart, I saw that was going to blend nicely with those other two tones. So that gives me a gorgeous blend with a bit of depth and dimension down the middle, like so. But just a little finishing touch to make it look even more realistic, I'm bringing in Mimosa GY2, which is actually, if we colour it onto our piece of scrap, is a yellowy type colour. You might think, oh, okay, it's a bit interesting. But if we add a little bit of colour just to the very edges, the very tips of these leaves, it's going to sort of lift the colour that's underneath. And this is the fabulous thing about alcohol pens. Not only can we add colour, we can also take it away, almost like bleaching it out, which is very much how the blender pen works. But we can do it with other colours as well. So although this is a paler colour, going over a darker colour, we're actually lifting up some of that green and adding in a little bit of that yellow just to give an extra sort of level of dimension, extra colour tone onto there to give it realistic effect.
Blender pen, which we've got on the show. Is that what that is for then?
So we call it a blender, and it's a bit of a funny one because you don't really use it to blend.
Right.
It's more of like a colour lift sort of pen. So if you colour any colour down and add your blender over the top, it'll sort of lift that colour up. So it's great. There's lots of different techniques you can do. You can almost do like polka dot effects. So you could scribble down a layer of colour and then just dot the blender over the top and it'll lift the colour up. The longer you leave that pen on that coloured surface, the more colour it will lift up.
What, to the point where eventually it would take it all off with it?
Almost. It will
Right.
never go quite back to your white cardstock, but it will lift a lot of that colour up and it will give you lots of interesting effects. So it's a pen, I have to say I have several. You've got to have them like left, right and centre. Yeah, I know, you wouldn't believe that, would you? But it's one of those that you sort of use time and time again. And I'll have one in my craft tote, I'll have one in this box of pens, one in that box of pens, but they're just so useful for lots of different amazing techniques. So we're going to go in to do the dress now, and I'm going for a bluey tone. So I'm going for TB1 to start with, which is my palest tone of blue, and it's actually a little bit dry, which is not ideal. But we'll add a little bit of colour down to the centre of the dress, like so. And then I'm going to go in with my darker tone, which is TB2. I'm going to start to add a little bit of depth and dimension, and again, it's such an intricate and detailed design here. Having these classiques with this really fine bullet nib is absolutely ideal. It's allowing me to get in all that detail. You can see with the fern that we just coloured in, we managed to achieve all of that detail. We didn't go outside the lines, but if you do go outside the lines, it's not a problem at all. Don't worry about it. You might not even notice, but a nice technique to do it. Do you remember on the first image how we had that little shadow around the edge? So we coloured with the grey just around the edge of the whole of the image. What that can do is it can actually push some of that colour back in where you've coloured over the line. So that's a nice little sort of saving grace if you need it. If you colour outside the line slightly, add your shadow around the edge and that will push that colour back in and you'll get that sort of perfectly finished image every single time. So I'm just blending this, I'm flicking. I know we are using a bullet nib, but you can still do your flicking techniques just to blend that texture through into the dress like so. And then I'm going back here with my darkest colour, which is TB4. And we're adding shade around where the leg is as it would be casting a shadow. A little bit at the top, so we'd have a shadow from that leaf there, and around the bottom there as we'd be casting a shadow from that section of the leaf as well.
How does it take you to get to that point where you can sort of just analyse a picture like this and know exactly where you're going to put the different shadows? You know what I mean?
I think the stamps or whatever images you're colouring, like in these car front parts, they give you a lot of clues in terms of the detail.
Right.
So where there's a lot more lines, where there's more density of lines, I know it's going to be darker. So down that fern there, we've got another line, so I know there's going to be shadow down that line. So it's great if you are a beginner because you are taking some of the guesswork out. But I know a lot of people can get really caught up on where the light source is coming from and all that sort of thing. I don't get bogged down in that too much. I sort of think, if there's something over the top, it's going to be casting a shadow basically. So because this fern is over the top, I know that underneath it's going to be a little bit darker because it's going to be casting a shadow onto this area here. Just don't overthink it is the key. When I first get an image and I start to colour it, I just have a little look at it first before I start colouring anything in, and I think where my light and shade is going to be. So for these ferns, I know it's going to be darker in the middle where it's more pinched in, and as we move to the edges of the leaves, I know that it's going to be lighter onto there.
Got you.
So just have a little bit of a think about it, but don't overthink it is the absolute key with
just to
anything
say,
like this.
Lena's just saying on Facebook, how many pages do we get in each pad? Is it just one image of each? No. So you get 6 images of each, and you get 6 images. So 36 images in total in each pad. And then the back 3 pages of each pad is your pop-out foiled sentiments that you get. You get 6 different sentiments, 3 of each, so 18 in total, but you get it in the 3 different colours. So you've got it in the gold foil, the silver foil, and then that sort of bronzy colour as well. So actually 39 sheets in total. 6 images within each pad, but 6 of each of those images, so 36 to be colouring with. Terry just saying, wow, Lily, that fern looks so 3D with that colouring. And Pammy on YouTube, hello Pam, says, my new trick is to use the hint of classiques, then I use my tri-blend brush pens to get a beautiful blend.
What a fabulous idea. And that's the thing with all your Spectrum Raw alcohol pens, even though we've got the different ranges, like we've got our classiques, like we've got our tri-blends, like we've got our illustrators, you can mix and match them all, which is brilliant. So it's like the more you've got, the even better it gets. Exactly. Not only because you've got more pens, but because you've got more options in terms of mixing and mashing them together. together, which is brilliant. So I'm going to go on to the wings now. So I've coloured in with IB1. I've not gone all over the wing, I've just sort of flicked out and I've left the very edges white. Then I'm going in with IB2 and just adding a little bit of shading at the very, very centre, just like so. But it's a magical fairy, it's pretty, it's sparkly, it's magical. We've got to bring in our clear sparkle pen, of course, for a touch of sparkle. Now we've got these in the show with, I think we've got them in a pack with our fabulous glossy highlights.
We have, you get, what's the deal on that? So you buy 2 glossy highlights and one of the clear sparkle overlay collection, and you get another collection of the clear sparkle overlays for free.
Which is fabulous, especially with all the sort of mystical and magical designs in these pads. They're great for adding
the
your clear
sparkle
sparkle.
and the glossy highlights, particularly for sort of fantasy images, are great, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. So just going over the wing with our clear sparkle gives it that touch of magic onto there, which is what we're loving. But if we carried on colouring that in exactly the same way as we just have done, so we've done all the ferns in exactly the same way as we have done, it's just that same technique, just repeated several times over. The dress, that technique that I showed you down there, we've done that on each piece of the dress, so just breaking it down into sections, not doing the whole dress all at once, doing it in pieces like we did here. The skin I've done in FS7, FS5 and FS4, and then we've done the hair in EB8, EB4 and EB3, and that's how easily it comes together. But your touch of sparkle onto there is absolutely the finishing touch. It just makes your designs look even more special. You've got to get yourself a few sparkle pens.
Oh yes.
And the glossy highlights is fabulous as well, for adding all your detail to all your designs in these pads. So just taking it up a notch a little bit more.
And you can also with those like add your glitter into your glossy highlights as
well,
couldn't you?
Yeah, oh, you can be doing absolutely all sorts. How about adding some gilding flakes as well onto these? Ooh. Don't just think about colouring, think about bringing in all your different techniques and getting really, really crafty with these. Yeah, they're great if you are a beginner and you just want to use it sort of in its rawest form, literally just colouring it and popping it onto a card with a sentiment. But if you are more experienced, if you do have all the crafty bits and bobs in your stash, then bring in all those and just have a real fun play with these images. So to make this into a card, I've just mounted my artwork onto some silver mirror card. Then I've got some papers, and now if you looked at the reverse, these are actually Christmassy papers, and this is something I love doing. I love using my Christmas papers for everyday creations, and nobody knows that on the other side there's some snowflakes.
That's almost like a frost on a car windscreen there.
Yeah, so it's like a cracked eye sort of effect.
Yeah, really lovely effect.
Then we're going to bring in our card base, which is 6.5 inches square. And then all we've done on the left-hand side, we've just scored at 3 1/4. So we're in half on that side. So it's like a fold-back card, but we're going to create it into a reverse easel. So we're taking that piece that we've just matted and layered onto our silver mirror card, adding some adhesive onto the back, and I'm just going to stick this flat as it is the base of our easel, so we don't want a lot of dimension. Add that onto the centre, and I've created my card base from some Centura Pearl. It's the Fresh White, which is a lovely double-sided A3 cardstock. And then we've done exactly the same with these 2 mats and layers, so it's that same pattern paper, the Christmas one, but shh, don't tell anybody it's Christmas on the other side, no one will know. It can be our little secret. And we've added exactly the same mats and layers with our silver mirror card, just to make everything tie together really, really nicely. And when we add our sentiment, which is silver foiled, everything's going to harmonise absolutely wonderfully. And then this top mat and layer. And then we're going to bring in our topper that we coloured in. So using a certain 3-dimensional adhesive that comes on a roll, that unfortunately I can't remember the name of it. You'll find it on the website. But yeah, I can't.
Something like...
is it on a roll? Do they say it's on a roll?
Yeah, on a roll. Yeah.
I can't remember what it's made of though. No. But it's going to give me a nice bit of dimension, I do know that much. And this one's a bit of a funny one. I don't know where this has come from. It's not our usual one. It doesn't like taking the back off at all. I don't know if it's got too warm, too cold. Ugh, horrible stuff. It's not the one we have on our website, that's for sure.
Because that's not horrible stuff.
No, it's not.
And that one's got its own song.
It does. Yeah. This one doesn't deserve a song, quite frankly, the way it's behaving. So all we've done is we've just stuck the top section, no adhesive on that bottom section, otherwise we're going to end up sticking our card together, which is not what we want. And then I've taken a strip of that exact same Centura pearl and added it onto that matte layer of our silver mirror to tie everything together. And this is going to form the stopper for our card. So we do want some sort of three-dimensional adhesive on the back of here, just to make sure it stands up proud and stops our card from falling over. And I'm just going to decide where I want that as to how much I want my card stood up. I'm going to pop that onto there. That's going to be our stopper for our easel, and then the finishing touch is, of course, we're going to have to bring in one of these absolutely fabulous sentiments.
Of course.
And this is a sprinkling of fairy dust on your day, which is perfect with the little bit of glitter that we've got on our coloured image. And that is our card finished. Quite an interesting card shape, something a little bit different with your reverse easel, but using those fabulous images from your colouring pads, but so much fun to create a design like that, and something a little bit different as well.
Such a lovely card again, second brilliant demo, and hopefully you're seeing why these colouring pads are so popular this morning. Normally a bit quieter on a Sunday morning. You can understand the reason why. People having lie-ins, a lot of our American viewers not wanting to get up at stupid o'clock on a Sunday, but it seems that lots of you are up enjoying the show and grabbing this collection. 156 elements in total, so you're getting 4 of those pads, 36 sheets, 6 of each design, and you're getting all of those toppers in there as well. We'll go through that and recap on that again in just a little bit. I know one thing that Lily was mentioning earlier on, which is on the show, is your rotating design board. Really good deal on this one today as well, actually, because it comes with all of your magnetic accessories as well. So you get your magnetic board with this, and also a magnetic ruler. But the genius really is in the actual board itself. Perfect if you are doing your colouring, because you've got that 360 degrees of rotation on this board. And it's worth pointing out, because you might look at this and think to yourself, well, it's like a flimsy sort of like clipboard style. Absolutely not. It's been beautifully made. You've got the ball bearings inside there to give you that 360 degree of rotation. And also you're going to get that bulldog clip with it as well. So whether you're colouring on the portrait, whether you're colouring on the landscape, you've got the ability to kind of position whatever it is that you're working with nice and easily. We give you also in this collection your magnetic mat, great for all of your measurements. You've got the magnetic ruler that comes with that as well. And as we said, perfect for your colouring, perfect for all of your paper crafting. You know, if you are perhaps, like Lily's saying, wanting to do some colouring of an evening on your lap, spend some time out of your craft room with the rest of your family, this is a perfect way to be able to do it. Not just the magnetic accessories we're going to give you, but we're also going to pop into the deal the Nancy travel tote as well. And all of that stores nicely into the tote. So a great way to be able to transport everything as well. $13.97, $15.97 is what you save. Platinum price on this today, £24 or $28.80 if you're shopping with us in the US and you're a platinum member. So again, great way to be able to craft on the go, great way for you to be able to, you know, take all of your crafty goodies with you wherever you go. However, if you are someone who needs to sort out your craft room, maybe you've got pens all over the place and you need to store them efficiently, then this is a great way to be able to do it. Our universal pen trays. These will store the majority of our Spectrum Noir pens, whatever you've got. And the great thing about this particular collection is you're going to get 6 of the trays within the actual box itself. And they're super for the fact that you can store so many pens. In total, I think, is it, I've lost the plot here, 12... 72. That's right, couldn't do the maths. It's Sunday. You can stack 72 pens in these, and whether you want to kind of lay these flat, you can do. Whether you perhaps want to just stack these on top of each other, you can do. You can also sort of stack them to go backwards, or indeed along the side if you want as well. So basically, whatever the layout of your craft room, whatever the layout of your shelves is, these are absolutely perfect. And let's be honest, if you are spending good money on buying new pens, let's put some in here. Where's me illustrators? Yeah, if you are spending new money, lots of money on your pens, you want to be able to make sure you store your pens correctly, and they're not just sort of chucked all over the place, and they're flying all over the craft room. This is a great way to ensure that they are stored correctly, and actually, when you're using them, you can see exactly which of your pens is there to hand, and it just makes your life a lot easier. So you get 6 of those in total, 72 markers you can store for $14.39 or $17.96. Lots of great deals on the show for you today. It's quite therapeutic stacking those. Sorry, I'm just going to finish the other 3 off. Quite enjoyed this. Yeah, lots of you going for all the deals today. We're going to give you some time to check out your baskets. Thank you, Charlotte, right now. I won't do the other rows. That's neat. Lots of you wanting to check out your baskets, so we're going to give you time. And whilst we do that, a lot of you apparently have been asking for our brand new song that we've done. If you've missed this, it's our next Crafty song, all about all of the different items that we bring to you here at Crafters Companion. So if you've ever wondered, what do we have on the website? We list them all for you in this particular song. It's the Crafty Can. Check out your baskets, and we'll be back in 1 minute 47.
Pokey tools and paper pads, gilding, wax and stamping mats, scissors, glitter, builder blocks, faux snow fabric, rocker blocks, briars, misters, quilting clips, die brush tools, precision snips, finger daubers, acetates, stencils, glue guns and templates, Gemini Pro, Junior and the OG, Gemini Go, Mini and the MIDI, tri-blend brush pens, aqua pens and aqua blends, illustrators, classics and tri-blends and color blends and glitter pens and sparkle pens, outliner pens. Fine tip glue, applicators, envelopers, creators, stamping platforms, boxer boards, a big score and scoreboard, Nina card and craft card, glitter card, matte black card, graphics, wadding and adhesive sheets, glass mats, guillotines and pen trays, ball tool, dice and zinc trays, miter tools and binding tools and toe bags, USBs, bone folders and punches, low-tack tape and brushes, stamens, mountboard, flower forming foam, outline markers, DVDs, felt quick Triton pads and CDs, gilding flakes and washi tape, tacky glue, red liner tape, craft and sport press, sparkle pots, Centura pearl and sticky dots, pigment, ink pads, chunky glue, body bags, all-purpose glue, embossing folders, blending tools, storage folders, much more too. Water reactive ink pads, body bags, craft magnets, gear of craft and glue, stick and spray and stick away, dotty tape and split pens, acrylic paint pens, tape pens, watercolor card, rotary cutters, magazines and stamping card, ultimate Pro and the rotating design board, ultimate first compendium, Sarah signature collections, and don't forget discovery kits. Oh, and there's foam pads, think that's it. One final thing, foam on a roll, foam on a roll.
Oh, brilliant. I love Liam at the end of that and the sound effects. I also love Nicola so much in that video. She's hilarious. That song makes me chuckle. Great going, says Brenda. And Gemma says, you have so much energy, Ben. I absolutely love that. But how were you breathing? Yeah, I don't know, actually. I don't know. Thank you for all the love on that. And also, thank you, by the way, for the pictures that you're sending in. We will try and have a look at those before the end. Oh, are we going to do them now? Oh, we're going to do them now. Adriana, I know, has sent in pictures, and Michelle is looking for pictures of chickens in trees. Weird. But Gemma has sent in a picture. There you go, peacocks in a tree. So it has been proved, peacocks. What's that one down the bottom? Is that a peahen? The peahen. Well, there you go, proof. Where was that taken, Gemma? You'll have to let us know. It wasn't your garden, was it? But there we go. Yes, peacocks in a tree. So thank you so much for that. I don't know, Adriana, you sent in some pictures of monkeys, peacocks and pigs. And Michelle has sent in pictures of chickens in a tree. I mean, seriously, we cover everything off in this show. Let's get back to the colouring, though, because I know loads of you have gone for the colouring pad card collection. We're going to have some more colouring with Lily before we recap on the deal. Where are you going to go next?
Should we go for the butterflies and botanics?
Yes. Butterflies most popular.
Yes, most popular. I'm not surprised, it's stunning, but you've got to have them all, don't you? So you've got lots of different options. But we've chosen this image, absolutely stunning. You've got, I'm thinking sunflower sort of design onto there, it could be. You've got your roses, perhaps a dahlia, but you can be colouring these in whatever colour you like. But we're going to focus on this flower to start with. So I'm bringing in my illustrators this time. And with these, just like the classics, they're dual-ended, but we've got this really super fine. I mean, how fine is that? That bullet nib on one end, and then on the other, we have got our fabulous brush nib. I'm going to start with our brush nib. Now I'm going for GY2, which is going to be my palest one within this particular blend. And it's so easy to lay down that colour with that really soft, smooth brush nib. I have to say, I do love the brush nibs. They are absolutely fantastic.
Are they your favourite pens?
See, the thing is, my favourite is whatever I've just used.
Right.
So after colouring that last image, my favourite was Classiques, and after colouring this image, my favourites will be Illustrators.
Right.
But it's one of those, it's just, I think it does depend on the sort of image you're colouring in. It depends what sort of mood you're in, what sort of technique you want to be using. They've all got their uses, that's why we've all got them in the range, and they're all great for different jobs. So you've got to have them all. So we've gone in with GUI2, which is our palest. Then we've added GUI3 into the very centre. But I want this to be a little bit darker. I want to add a little bit of shadow onto there. So I'm actually bringing in my brown grey 6, my BG6. Now it might seem a bit of a strange choice, but I'm going to flick that just in the very, very centre of that petal. And that's going to give us a little bit of shadow. So just a tiny bit, really, really lightly into that middle will give us that extra bit of shading. Perhaps you don't have absolutely loads of different colours of your pens yet. If you get a really good pack of greys as well, then you can make your colours go even further. So I'm going to do exactly the same on our next petal, taking my GUI2 and then going back to my GUI3, which is our darkest. So we're going to add our darkest to that very centre. We know it's going to be more pinched in there, so it's going to be a little bit darker. And again, we've got those lines where we know the shadow is going to be. So we're just following all the clues laid down in that artwork. And then going back in with our BG6, adding a tiny bit to the centre. And if you do want to go back to your GUI3 and just blend that out a little bit more, then absolutely you can do that. But you wouldn't really know that we'd used a grey pen onto there. It just looks like we've got a really nice bit of depth and dimension onto our colouring. So if we do exactly the same on the next petal, so going in with our GUI2 and adding our coat of colour all over that particular petal, and I tend to do maybe a couple of petals at a time. If you are new and you're perhaps not as confident, just doing one petal at a time makes it really, really manageable. You're just breaking that image down into sections, into manageable chunks. That makes it a lot easier. And as well, if you don't have a lot of time to sit and colour, you've just got perhaps a spare 5 minutes here or there, you can just colour in a small section at a time and see that particular image take shape over the days and perhaps weeks if you've not got a lot of time, but it's something that you can go back to and carry on colouring. Yeah. So we do exactly the same technique for the rest of that flower, but just using the 2 shades of yellow and then our grey onto the centre allows us to build up that depth and dimension really, really easily onto that particular flower. But let's move on to another of the flowers. So let's go for one of these roses. We're going to start off with MG1, which is going to be our palest within this blend. And I'm going for my lovely brush nib. I'm going to lay down that first coat of colour nice and slowly onto there. You don't have to rush when you're colouring. Just take your time, enjoy that process of colouring up that image, and then you can have the joy at the end of actually crafting with your hand-coloured images. Which is, it's really satisfying when you know you've created that card truly from scratch.
How long would you, if you were colouring this at home, how long roughly would you take over an image like this to colour?
I'd probably spend a few hours colouring the image. Yeah, definitely. I'll be honest, I'll start and I'll get completely lost in what I'm doing, and then the next thing you know, a few hours has gone. But it's definitely something to enjoy, something to break down into sections if you don't have a lot of time, and just build up that image. But yeah, probably a few hours per image. This is quite a detailed one. There's quite a lot of design in there, so it would definitely take a lot longer to do this than some of the others. Some of the ones that you've got in your animals pad, you can bring together a lot quicker if you like, but it's not something that you're wanting to rush through. It's something that you really want to enjoy. So I've done my first coat of MG1, then I've gone to MG2, then I went to MG4, and now I'm going back to MG2 just to blend that MG4 out. And then I'm going to finally go in with my darkest, which is my MG5, so from the magenta family, which is giving us this lovely pinky tone. We're going around the very edges because I'm thinking this petal is going to be sort of beveled and curved, so we're going to have a highlight down the centre, and then at the edges it's going to be a little bit darker. It's going to have a little bit more shade and tone onto the edges. So I'm not being really technical, I'm not really overthinking things. I'm just having a little think about sort of the shape of the image that I'm colouring, and I'm just shading it accordingly. So nothing too technical at all. I'm going to do exactly the same with the next petal. So we're going in first with our MG1 and laying down that base layer, that first layer of our lightest tone onto there. Then we're going to our MG2, And of course you can be doing this in whatever colour you like, which is the fabulous thing about when you're colouring your own images. So you get so many different colours of roses. These could be yellow roses, they could be blue roses, it could be any shade of pink, of red. It's completely up to you how you want to colour these. But you're going to get different effects just by changing up your colourways. You're going to get a totally different looking image. So even with the 6 designs of each in your pads, you can get 6 completely different looking finished images by the time you've actually coloured them all up, which is great. So you're going to get so many options from these pads. And then we're going to go back with our darkest, which is our MG5. And we're just going to add that. Thinking there's going to be a little bit of shadow here because this petal is going to be over the top, so it's going to be casting a shadow to this one underneath. And then around the edges, where it's slightly beveled, we're going to add a little bit of the darker tone onto there, just to give it that sort of rounded effect. And we'd carry on doing exactly the same with the rest of that particular rose. We do a similar technique on that rose. So it's like once you've learnt the technique for one, you can apply that technique to every single petal, to all of the flowers. We're going to move on next to our, I want to say it's a dahlia, but I'm not, I'm not a gardener. Chrysanthemum? Is it chrysanthemum?
Yeah.
I'm just saying names of flowers at this point. It's a flower, it's
It's
pretty.
a lovely, pretty flower.
It's a lovely, pretty flower, yeah. But depending on which way you colour it, can be whatever flower you like, for sure. So I'm going to focus on one petal at a time again, just breaking that image down into sections, making it really manageable and really easy to colour in, rather than looking at the full image and thinking, gosh, where do I start? Just start on one petal at a time. And I'm going Dahlia.
I would say.
Dahlia.
Pictures. Yeah.
Going in with PL2, which is our lightest, and then we're going up to PL3, which is slightly darker. We're going to have darker in the middle, where the petal's going to be sort of more pinched in, and we're going to flick out, and it's going to be pale at the edges, so I'm going to leave the edge as that PL2, and I'm not going to add any of the PL3 onto the very edges of the petal. Then going to my darkest tone within this 3-pen blend, PL4, and adding that to the very centre. Now, for this particular blend, I'm using 3 pens, very much like the system that we'd use with our tri-blends. But on the last bit we coloured in, I used 4 instead. So it's completely up to you. It's not just about your 3-pen blends. You can be doing 2, you can be doing 3, 4, even 5. It's totally up to you, depending on how many different tones that you've got that are closely matching within your stash, depending on the size of image that you're colouring in. So if I'm colouring a really small section, I might just use 2 pens, with there not being as much room, if you like, to blend. It's up to you, but if you are new, that 3-pen blend is an easier place to start. You sort of know what you're doing, sort of replicating that tri-blend system, but of course you can be mixing it up. It's not just about that 3-pen blend.
Time as well to start getting your baskets checked out. So I've just looked at the clock, and unbelievably, we've got less than 10 minutes remaining on the show. So if you fancy this collection, if you're now sold on the idea, then now is a good time to be checking out. What I like about this as well, with it being a new launch, is it's an inexpensive collection to go for, isn't it? £25, $33 if you're a platinum member, and actually it's a collection that is going to last you. You know, it's not like something that you're going to use and you'll be done with it in like a couple of days. There's loads of images here that you can get colouring. So yeah, I think it's a really, really good value for money deal. And of course, you've got the show to watch back and pick up loads of hints and tips from Lily from.
Absolutely. So we'd carry on colouring this in exactly the same way. So for the leaves, I have used DG4, DG3, DG2, and then a little bit of LY1 on the very tips. And if we bring this in, this is exactly what we're going to create. So it's just repeating those same techniques that I've just shown you. So just filling out the whole flower, doing exactly the same technique on the leaves as we did with those ferns on the last image. Exactly the same for this flower. And then for our other flower, or other rose, I've gone in with PP6, PP5 and PP4, and that's going to give us this image. But then all I've done is I've just taken a small pair of my precision scissors and I've literally just snipped this out of the pad. So yes, these are perfectly sized for your 6x4 inch cards. Yes, they're going to be perfect just to mat and layer onto a card, but thinking about going around and fussy cutting these out to actually take them out of the design to give you something that just looks a little bit different. You almost wouldn't think that you started off with this rectangular piece and then you end up with a piece like this, but it's just another option that you can do when it comes to colouring your images. So I'm going to pop this onto a card. So what I've done is I've taken one of my circle dies and I've cut two. One of them I'm keeping it whole. The other one I've added a score line about 1.5 centimetres from the top, and then at the bottom I've just chopped a little bit off just so that it's going to stand and it's not going to be a rocker card.
Okay. And
then we're going to stick these two together. So adding glue to that hinge that we've created where we've added that score line in, and then this is going to create us a card base really easily, just like so, that will stand. I've not lined that up very well at all. Let's quickly rectify that. So we want to line them up nice and flush to give us our own custom made card blank. Then we've cut a couple of circles, a black one and a white one. By using the black mat, it's going to really make the colours in this image pop. It's going to draw the eye in to that black line work, and it's just going to make those colours stand really proud. So we're going to add a little bit of tape onto the back of here. I'm going to pop this onto our card base. So it's not just about rectangular cards, it's not just about square cards or fancy fold cards. You can be doing your different shapes of cards, your circle, perhaps your oval, using your different decorative nesting shapes. Lots and lots of different options when it comes to these card front colouring pads. Don't just think about rectangular cards because that's the sort of shape of the pad itself. Think about popping them onto all your different card shapes, cutting them out, perhaps rounding the corners off if you've got punches, even die cutting into them. So just making them work for whatever sort of cards you prefer to make. They truly are something for everybody. It doesn't matter what your style is, they're going to be great for everyone.
And just to say as well, Laura said, join the show late, are all the pages in the pad just for alcohol markers? Yeah, but we've chatted as well that you could use your pencils on here, didn't we? It's just basically not for your watercolours, isn't it, your aquas? Yeah,
so nothing water-based, I'd say, because the paper just won't take it very well. You are all right with your sparkle pens if you're using your clear overlay, because you're not going to be adding a little bit of too much water. If you're just adding a little bit of the overlay over the top of your alcohol pen colouring, that will be okay, but you don't want anything really wet on there because they've just not been designed to take the water.
Okay.
So just to finish this off, I'm adding Bloom Where You Are Planted, one of our sentiments from the pad. So our sentiments are of course included. I'm not having to look elsewhere in my stash for that sentiment. Everything's included, and how easy was that to put together? But just snipping out your designs from your pad.
Really super. I tell you what, because we are less than 5 minutes to go, we'll get all of the cards lined up that Lily's made through the show. We'll get you voting on your favourite, and then I'll recap on the deal for you. And by the time we've done that, we should have a result. And that will be that for Colour Me Happy this Sunday. So let's have a quick look at all of the cards that Lily has made over the course of the last hour and a half, and see which is your favourite. So line them up, Lily. What you got?
So card number one that we created this one using our... I can't remember what it's called, but that's number one. Number two, we did our reversed easel, so using that lovely fairy onto there. That is our number two.
Okay.
And then finally, number three, that we've just popped together, snipping into our designs for that gorgeous floral composition. Number three, 1, 2 or 3, get your votes in.
That's it, you've got about 3 minutes to do so. Just one final quick question from Lena, who says, could you use blending solution on the card as well with your pencils? I guess you could.
Yeah, don't see why not.
Yep.
Yeah, go for it.
Right, let's recap on the deal then. So, brand new today, make sure you grab it. If you love your colouring, if you're already into your colouring, you'll grab it, I'm sure. If you're brand new to colouring, get this collection because you're going to get 4 pads, all right? In each of the pads, you get 6 images, but you get 6 of each of the images. So you get 36 images to be colouring, and with each of the pads, you also get a selection of die cut and foil toppers for you as well there, which you can see on the bottom. Those will simply pop out on the back 3 pages of your pads, and each of them are specific to the sort of images that you've got within each of those pads. They're foiled in silver and in gold, and in the rose gold as well. Thank you with all my love, wonderful in every way. Collect beautiful moments, just a few which are in that beautiful collection, which is your butterflies and botanics. Then you've got this one here, the gorgeous birds of all different species really. Floral flight, that one's called. So you've got your lovebirds in there, your cockatoo, you've got your hummingbirds, your peacocks in the trees, and more. Those also come with sentiments just for you. Spread your wings, sending my love to you, and let your dreams be your wings. This is my favourite. I think, you know, wow, you're going to love colouring in this collection, which is the Spiritually Wild. So much detail in the artwork. You're going to love colouring that. It's almost sort of like mandala-esque, isn't it, the design on these? So if you love your mandalas, you'll love that collection. Peacocks and lions and tigers and zebras. Shine bright, stay strong, you're awesome. Live more, worry less, and be you. The world will adjust. Are just a few of the sentiments that you'll get. Once again, you've got those in the gold, in the silver, and in the rose gold. And then lastly, you've got the beautiful kind of mystical figures here in the Enchanted Adventure, from the unicorns to the fairies and the toadstools. Once again, remember, 6 designs in each pad, 6 of each, so 36 sheets. Then you get 3 final sheets, which bring you the beautiful die-cut toppers that you can see just there. And they're all different, actually, the sentiments that you get in each of those pads, in the gold, silver, and the rose gold. Dream big, imagination will get you anywhere, and have an enchanting birthday. Brand new today, loads and loads of you grabbing the deal. You're saving 20% off the price it should be. Platinum members, you get another 20% off, of course. $25.56 is the deal if you're shopping with us here in the UK. $33.24 if you're platinum and shopping with us in the US. We have our winner. What do you reckon in the gallery? What's one? You reckon the fairy? You reckon the third one? I thought it would be the third one. The winner is number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Ooh, everyone was wrong.
Yes.
So our little bridge floaty type card. Yeah.
Lovely. What's it called?
Nice. Floaty type card.
Floaty. Yes, that's what I
That
thought.
is technically called a floaty type card.
Thank you. Well done to Lily. Thank you so much. That one will go up onto our Crafty Walk of Fame, and well, Lily will have a winner by the end of the day. Second Chance Sunday coming up later, and we've got a masterclass coming up in an hour and a half, and it's all about construction, isn't it, Lily?
Absolutely. So we've got lots and lots of different sort of construction type projects. We've got scoreboards, dies, all sorts. It's going to be an absolute cracking hour. So make sure you join us at 3 o'clock UK time.
Looking forward to that. I'll be here as well. In the meantime, do make sure you pick up this teal. It is brand new. You're going to love working with it. And the great thing is you can take away from this show not only great product, but also all of the great hints, tips and demonstrations that Lily afforded you over the last hour and a half. We'll see you in an hour and a half time. But until then, have a good Sunday. We'll see you in a bit. Bye for now.